20th century.
Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Now today I'm going to be doing another vinyl update 30 I think we're on to now. So yeah, I know it hasn't been too long since I've done like my last vinyl update, but like I saved like a lot of like the records like what I got like when I goes down in Manchester for this video, because I reckon that like the other one that would be far too long like if I showed everything. So like about 50% of like the stuff that I'm going to show in this video would have come from like before like my last update video, but I have also got like a lot of like new things like as well to show. So in this video, like I will start with like non-vinyl related items such as like I've got a DVD and like a couple of CDs. Then I will move on to 7-inch singles. Then I will go and like used albums, and then new ones what I have bought online. So we'll just get started with the DVD, which is The Small Faces. This one is called All or Nothing, 1965 to 1968. And what this is sort of like a documentary, like about the band really. Like it's more sort of like it's more like a collection like of like video clips. Like those are like the songs are like intertwined with like interviews with like Kenny Jones and Ian McLagan, like archive interviews with Steve Marriott and like Ronnie Lane and that. So this was like really like entertaining watch here. Small Faces got this very cheap like in like HMV like on sale, so yeah, that was really nice. Now onto the CDs. Now this one like I bought like in like this budget CD shop called That's Entertainment, and I got this one basically because like someone like regular commenter like on like my channel, like a user called Shannon D, like recommended like this band to me. This like she said that like she thought that I would like really enjoy like their music and that. So I got this one here which is called Midlife: A Beginner's Guide to Blur, and I really enjoyed this actually. It was a little bit, it was yeah, it was really good. Like it was like people sort of like compare like Blur like, and like Oasis, like they had like this big rivalry, so like Beatles and Stones sing like in like the 90s, and that whereas like Oasis were a bit more sort of basic like rock and roll sort of like live guitars and that. This is a bit more sort of interesting, a little bit more like electronic influences and that, a little bit different, but like also very like 60s like influence like as well. Like I hear like a lot of like the Kinks like in this, like, especially so I think it's a song, it's a third track like For Tomorrow, that is like pure sort of like Village Green Preservation Society sort of Kinks and that. So yeah, so like a double CD, this was an absolute bargain, so I thought I would get this one, try it out, and like I'm very glad I did. So thank you for Shannon for like the recommendation. Also got this one in like the same shop, which is The Who Sell Out here on CD. This is a 1994 CD, and like what is great about this one is like you get like the whole album plus a collection like of bonus tracks. There's almost like as many bonus tracks like as there are like actual songs like on like the album. And like, I really like the way that they have sequenced the bonus tracks, because it's almost like a second album. Like you get like a radio jingle, then like a song, just like the actual album. So like, it's really good. You get a really nice little booklet here as well. So like we like write up like on like the album and like whatnot, and like nice pictures and that. So this was really nice. And like some of the bonus tracks like are brilliant stuff, like Someone's Coming, Glow Girl. That's like a precursor like to Tommy. Like the end of that one, it's like It's a Girl, Mrs. Walker, It's a Girl, sort of like the birth of like the Tommy like theme and like album there, like coming into that one. It's really great. Melancholia and that, and Glittering Girl. It's just fantastic stuff, and like the actual album like is brilliant as well. So very glad I got this one, The Who Sell Out. Next I got this one in HMV as well. This is called The Who Live at the Isle of Wight Festival 1970. I have shown this already. This came in at number 3 on like my top 10 live albums list, and this is a really fantastic little package that you get, like a double album like off like the whole concert plus a DVD. And this is a fantastic show. I mean, like they do like some like brilliant songs like at like the start, such as like I Can't Explain, I Don't Even Know Myself, Summertime Blues, My Generation and that, and then they do a ton of tracks from Tommy, like most of Tommy there. So it's just fantastic. Unfortunately though, my one, like it says like on like the back or like the front or something, like it says somewhere like anyway that like it comes out with like a 12-page booklet, and like I think like it should have been like in there, but like unfortunately like my one like didn't come with it. Like it was brand new like in like the shrink wrap, so yeah, a little bit strange that, but still really good like little package here. So now the next one, like, is quite interesting. Like, it is like my first sort of like promo CD / sort of promo album, like sort of like white label promo thing. It is this, which is Johnny Marr and the Healers, an album called Boomslag. And this was like a short-lived band where like Johnny Marr was in during like the early 2000s, and like also features like Zach Starkey like on like drums as well, which is really cool. And like, yeah, this was actually cheaper getting this promo CD than it was to get the actual album CD, because that goes for like about £25. For some reason, like, it's really, really rare, but this was £7 like on like eBay, like I found this for, so I just like jumped at it, and I'm like really glad I did. It's like, yeah, I could do miss like the artwork a bit, like it doesn't like actually have it doesn't like actually have like the album cover with it and that, but like you still get like all like the album there, like the whole, like the full album, like 11 songs there, and plus this, which is a kind of like sort of like a written like press release like about the band, just sort of saying like what singles like are coming out, like a bit about them and that. So that's really cool. Yeah, my first sort of like promo item. Johnny Marr and the Healers, Boomslag. Yeah, like pretty good album, like as we said. I mean, like I don't think that it was as good as like The Messenger from 2013, but like it was probably like on par with like Playland, which was his album after The Messenger, which was also like really good. So yeah, really enjoyed this one here, Johnny Marr, Boomslag. So now moving on to the vinyl records here. Going to start with like a couple of like 7-inch singles. Got all of these ones like when like I was down in Manchester, like more specifically these are from a show called X Records in Bolton here, and they had a fantastic selection like of like 7-inch singles. Like I was certainly like more impressed with like their singles than like the albums, and that they had tons of singles like Name a Song and like Guarantees I Get with like Be There. But anyway, the ones I picked up from there are ELO, Hold On Tight, and like I got this one mostly for the B-side, which is a song called When Time Stood Still. This is just on black vinyl here, and When Time Stood Still is a fantastic song. Why that song like didn't make like the Time album, like I don't know, because it is so brilliant. Like this was when like ELO started putting like unique B-sides like on like the singles, like they weren't on like the albums, and like you get some really like underrated stuff like this one, and like the other one, Julie Don't Live Here, is also a brilliant song as well. So yeah, very glad I got this one, very cheap as well. Next three are all Style Council ones. Now, like I showed like a lot of like Style Council singles in like my last vinyl update. Those ones like I bought online, and like here in like the shop they had pretty much every single like they put out. Like I could have spent like all like my money like just on like Style Council singles. They also had like a ton of like Jam singles like as well. Like fortunately, like, I don't like really like need those because I have got like the Jam Battle box set there, that has every song that like they released like in it. Unfortunately, the Style Council don't have like something similar. So like to get like every song, you really have to buy like a lot of like these singles, and like they are pretty cheap as well. I'll just go through like the ones that I got. First one here is A Solid Bond in Your Heart, which is probably my favourite Style Council song. Like, if not like my favourite, definitely one of my top 5 songs of theirs. And this has a brilliant B-side. It's a song called It Just Came to Pieces in My Hands, and that's fantastic song. Great lyrics there. Fantastic songwriting for like Paul Weller there. And yeah, brilliant single. Very glad I got this one here. Next one is quite cool, which is Come to Milton Keynes. So this has like a really nice sort of gatefold cover, like similar like design there to like the Our Favourite Shot album cover. Really nice to see like a lovely colour image of it. And there's like the inside there. And this one comes in like a little like mini sleeve as well. This has a song called When You Call Me on like the B-side, which is also really great as well. Again, like a unique B-side there. So great single. And the last Style Council one is this one, which is Wanted. You also get like a acoustic version of The Cost of Loving, like an album which I will have either reviewed already or will be reviewing next like on like my channel, like depending like when I could get this video up. Like I love like that acoustic version, like what like you get. There's a nice sort of custom label, just so much better than like the album version, like in like my opinion there, like of the song. And like Wanted is like a really underrated single like as well from them. And our final 7-inch was one I paid a little bit more for, like not too much, so like definitely I think I paid about £5 for this like actually, which is the Paul Weller Movement Into Tomorrow, which I did not like expect to see like at all. Like I was really pleased that when I saw this, like actually. You get Into Tomorrow, and on the B-side, probably my favourite Paul Weller solo song, like if not certainly one of my favourites, Here's a New Thing. A fantastic song there. And like Into Tomorrow like is like great as well, but probably the B-side like I do prefer just just a tad. And yeah, this was like his like first like single release, a fantastic way to kick off his solo career here. Now moving on to the 12-inch albums. Now like I got like the first couple of these out when like I was like down like in Manchester like again. First one like I saw pretty cheap, and like I thought that like I'm gonna give it a try. It is a U2 album called Wall. And like I already like owned like the Joshua Tree, like I enjoyed the album, like I wasn't like blown away by it, but I thought it was still good. So I gave this a try, and I probably preferred this like to like the Joshua Tree. I thought this was a really great album. There's a gatefold there, nice cover, there's the back of it there. And yeah, some of like my favourite songs in here, like it does have like the big hit like on this album is Sunday Bloody Sunday, which I thought was an okay song, wasn't massive like on that track, but I love the song Seconds. New Year's Day was great, Two Hearts Beat as One, Surrender like I thought was like a good song as well. And just quickly show like the packaging to this, there's the inner sleeve, like advertisement sleeve, and the label itself looks like that. So yeah, a little bit sort of like different sound, like this was like their third album, a little bit more sort of like indie sound like I thought, like I really like enjoyed this album. So like yeah, like I'll hopefully try and get like the first two albums, which were called October, and I think the first one was called Boy, but I could be wrong there. But yeah, a great album here, U2 and War. The next one, what I also got like in that same shop as that, is this one, which is Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers live. This is called Pack Up the Plantation. This was recorded during like the Southern Accents tour, 1986. And like yeah, like he does like some brilliant tracks like on here, like a couple of covers, couple of songs like from Southern Accents, and like some of like the earlier hits as well. This was very cheap, like I've seen this like about once before, but then like I really had like a hard time like finding it again. So this isn't in amazing condition, like it's alright, little bit of damage there, like to the spine and that. You can see a little bit of ring wear and that. But the vinyls like themselves, like a nice, like the records themselves all like in that nice shape. Both just on like the standard MCA Records label there. So that's quite nice. Very glad I got this one, just like another item in that my Tom Petty collection. Also bought in like the same shop was this one, which is Squeeze, and an album called Sweets from a Stranger. This was their 5th album, and like the last one before like they broke up for like the first time in like 1982. This was an okay album. This isn't regarded as being like one of like their finest albums. The standout track is definitely Black Coffee in Bed, and there's a couple of like other good ones like I've Returned, and like there were a couple on like the first side, what like A Quiet Light as well, but like equally there was some like not so good tracks on here as well. Inner sleeve has lyrics, and then these sort of abstract drawings on like the other side, and the label is just on the standard A&M Records label there, what Squeeze were on. So yeah, not a bad album, very cheap, and like yeah, just like another like one like for like the Squeeze collection. Like another Squeeze album I bought like not too long after that one is their debut album, which I think is just self-titled, or like it might be called Take Me, I'm Yours or something like that. But yeah, pretty strange cover, and like even like weirder back cover there. It's not the most flattering sight, like seeing like Jules Holland like half naked and that, but yeah, pretty strange album here, and like again like not like their finest, like they're still like they were still like finding like their foot in like what works, like what didn't. The follow-up Cool for Cats is like miles better album, like I think. And again, I'll just quickly show like the packaging to this one here. I think this was on a custom label. That's what the label looks like there, if I can get it like the right way up. So yeah, okay album. Certainly like the standout track like is like Take Me, I'm Yours. Can't really like remember like the rest of them like all that much. Like only played this like the once and that. But yeah, I mildly enjoyed this album here. Another one I got recently is a George Harrison one called The Best of George Harrison. Now yeah, like I just saw this one, and like I didn't really need this. Like I have like all most of like these songs like already. Like the only unique song on this album is like the single Bangladesh. Just is like the only album like you can get that song on. And yeah, this is in like nice enough condition, pretty cheap. Collection here. Nice picture like a George there, and just like a collection like of like his albums like up to this point in time. This came out like I think just as like he was leaving like Apple Records and like EMI Parlophone, so like they put this out like just to cash in really. And like George was like a little bit pissed off that like it includes their Beatles songs like as well as like solo tracks, whereas like Ringo's compilation from like around this time was all just solo songs, like as was John Lennon's Shaved Fish and like Wings Greatest and that. So yeah, they could have like easily filled up like a whole album like full of like great like solo George Harrison songs. Unfortunately though, they didn't. First half like his Beatles songs there, and second half is like a handful of like his solo hits and that. So yeah, but still a good album though, like a good like addition to the collection. Another one that was a bit more interesting personally for me was this one here, which is Fleetwood Mac, The Kiln House. Now, like, I am a big fan of Fleetwood Mac. Like, I really like sort of like their like classic period. Like, that's like the only like bit where like, I really know like of them. Sort of like from like 1975 to like sort of like the late 80s and that. Like when it was like the classic like when it was like the classic like 5-member lineup. But this was one of their albums before that. Like they're like like I know like during like the late 60s like they were like sort of like a blues band, like they had a couple of like big hits like Oh Well and like Albatross and that, and then like in like the early 70s like they kind of like faded like from commercial like success and that, and like this is like one of like the albums like what came out during that period. I think from 1973 it says this one came out here. I can listen to this and I really enjoyed it actually. Very different from Fleetwood Mac. This lineup is Jeremy Spencer, Mick Fleetwood, John McVie, and a guy called Danny Kirwan. I think that's how like you say his name there. And like it says Christine McVie drew like the cover design, which is a lovely drawing, and that. But like I don't think that she like wrote like any songs like on this album. Like, I think it was still just like the 4 guys. There's the label there on like the Reprise records. And like I'm not sure like there were like a couple of like covers like on this album, but it was really good though. Like I really like enjoyed it. Really like solid like guitar playing and like drumming and that. Just a really great record, I think. So yeah, definitely enjoyed this one a lot. Fleetwood Mac, The Kiln House. That's now moving on to like the new vinyl, like what I've got like over like the last couple of weeks. First one is the Rolling Stones album Aftermath. Now, like in like my last update, like I got like quite a few Stones albums, such as Beggar's Banquet and Some Girls and Out of Our Heads. I thought that all of those were really good albums. And this one though, I wasn't massive on it, has to be said, upon like first listen. I thought like it was a little bit of like filler like on this album. And like considering this was like 1966, this was probably like my favourite period like for like the Stones. They had some brilliant songs like Paint It Black, 19th Nervous Breakdown, and I think like Ruby Tuesday, and that was also like around this time as well. So some brilliant tracks. Unfortunately though, not a lot of them made this album. Like we do get Mother's Little Helper, which is a good song. Under My Thumb, which is like great music, so that lyrics a little bit like outdated now, but yeah, like the actual song, like that marimba thingy, like I heard it, like the xylophone is just fantastic. Really great sound with that one. But there's a couple of like slightly like sort of like fillery songs and that, especially like on that side 2. Plus like the last song on that side 1, Going Home, was just far too long, about like 11 minutes of just nothing really, just sort of jamming away, not really like going anywhere. So yeah, wasn't massive on this album personally, but like it was still like a good addition to that my Rolling Stones collection. Another 60s reissue album is the Kinks' first album from 1964, and this one like I did quite enjoy. It was still like early days. This was like the debut album, so it is the majority of this like is covers on here, but we do get some like Kinks classics such as You Really Got Me, one of the all-time great rock songs, Stop Your Sobbing, which is great, and some other like great covers as well. I think like I Took My Baby Home was a good one, not a lie. Too Much Monkey Business, and like that. Yeah, so there's some good stuff on here. Just quickly show this one here. This is like on like red vinyl, like all of like the Kinks reissues are for like some reason, like or like another. But yeah, they do sound like pretty good. These all like being like recently like reissued like in like a Kinks box set. What looks fantastic. Unfortunately though, like I didn't really like need that. Like I've got like all the albums like already from that. But yeah, like I would like recommend like getting like into the Kinks, like if not, because they have some brilliant tracks. So, and yeah, this album does have a couple of like real golden gems on it. Another online purchase now is this one, which is the Stone Roses album Turns Into Stone. Now I must say that Stone Roses' first album is one of the all-time great albums like off like the 80s, one of like the all-time greatest albums like ever made, really. And this is kind of like a collection like of like B-sides and like stray singles from that, like songs that effectively like didn't make the album. And we get some brilliant tracks on here, such as Elephant Stone, which is one of my favourites, Mersey Paradise, Fool's Gold, which is probably like the most popular song, but like it isn't like one of like my favourites. So What the World Is Waiting For is great, and like One Love as well is fantastic. So yeah, very glad I got this one here. There's the back of it there. Just like a nice like companion piece to like the first album, really like really like all like these songs like I believe were from like the same sessions and that. So yeah, like it is great to get like a lovely vinyl repressing of this. Like I believe that they also made like a double vinyl like reissue of this what sounds great. But this one was like quite a bit cheaper, so I could just settled for like the single vinyl version. Next one now is like one that was like recommended by like Ben Simpson. Like he like showed like this one like during, I think it was like Rockboy680's 2000 subscribers contest response video where he done as like his favourite album from like the whole of the 60s. And like considering the 60s we had the Beatles and like the Kinks and the Who and that, Ben chose this album. So I thought that I would like give it a try, like buy like the vinyl. Like I saw it like on like Amazon for about £13, so I thought that I would like, why not, we'll give it a go. It is the Zombies, Odyssey and Oracle, and I am so glad I did, because this is just a bloody brilliant album. Like started like researching this, and like apparently this is one of like Paul Weller's favourite albums, so like that was like an obvious draw for me. And like also like it wasn't like a massive hit like at the time. Like it's like one of like these albums that was just sort of like grown like in stature like over like the years without really like much like marketing like anyway. Like it's just like sort of like being like word of mouth like recommendations like it's spread to become like a true classic album. And yeah, just sort of like really great sort of solid like psychedelic pop, really a little bit similar to like the Move and like the Kinks and that. But yeah, really fantastic though. That's it on the label there, Big Beat Records went on here. So yeah, like I would definitely recommend like people like who like haven't heard this, definitely give it a try. Like if like you're a fan of like the Beatles, the Kinks, or like the Move or like anything like that, I'm sure you will love this album because it is just fantastic stuff here. The Zombies, Odyssey and Oracle. So now the penultimate album what I'm going to show is like a David Bowie album. Now like I recently reviewed Hunky Dory, like when like that celebrated its 45th anniversary, and like at the end of that video like I asked for like recommendations for like all the David Bowie albums to try, and like everyone was saying different albums. Like some people said like Aladdin Sane, like Black Star, Let's Dance, Station to Station. Just shows like the breadth like of like his catalogue, that everyone like has like a different favourite album like of his. Like there's no like real like clear winner. But I thought that I would try this one first. Like I heard this one like on like YouTube, like the first couple of songs, and like I just fell in love with it. I thought it was really unique music, really different sounding, hadn't heard anything like it before. It is the album Low here, and like yeah, like as I said, just a brilliant album. To quickly show this one here, this is a bootleg reissue though. Unfortunately, they haven't like officially like reissued this one yet, and the like original pressings of this like go for like about £40 plus and that. So like I just settled on like this bootleg pressing here. This is on a red vinyl here. Still sounds pretty nice though. And yeah, that's the record label there. What I didn't know like when like I bought like this album though was like the last like big like Bowie box set, what was the Who Can I Be Now box, what covers like sort of like the 1974 through to 76 like era, and that was like they have recently like reissued like all of like them albums like individually, so like you can buy Station to Station like Young Americans and that like as like individual albums now. So like there's like a good chance that like the next box set will be like a Berlin era box set followed by individual like reissues like of like the albums. So like hopefully this one will get like a like official reissue like along with Heroes and like Lodger and like whatnot. because yeah, like it is like all like fine and well like getting like a bootleg album, but there's nothing like getting like the actual like officially released product. But yeah, really love this album, Low by David Bowie. And now the last one for today's video is going to be the Jam live at the Hammersmith Palais. Now like I've like already shown this. This came in during like my top 10 live albums list. Can't remember where this came. I think it was about 5 or 6 of that. But this is like part of like a series of like reissued live Jam albums. They've also done like 1977, 78 and 1979, and the packaging to these is just stunning. Like I might get like the other ones, like I think that they are still like available, and like yeah, they all come with like these nice like inner sleeves here. There's pictures there and that, and these sound great as well, considering that like these are like sort of like bootleg recordings and that they sound brilliant, all been like remastered. Like I think like I read like in the sleeve notes, remastered at like Abbey Road. Really nice sort of like record labels as well. I'll just quickly show like the other vinyl, because it's got like different like sleeve again, just like a tape machine and that. Really cool design with these. And the label to this one has Bruce on it there, and the other side of the record. So yeah, fantastic album here. Like I would definitely recommend it. We'll try and like get like the other ones that like I've like come out, because because Vinyl Collector James has shown me like his copies, and like they all were just stunning packaging. So yeah, very happy I got this one here, the Jam live at Hammersmith. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this vinyl update video, vinyl update 30. I think it is. Yeah, God, I've done a lot of these now. But yeah, like as always, like if like you would like to see me review any of these albums, please do leave them down below. And yeah, I will see you all next time for the next video. Goodbye.
That's the color of my